Let's take a look at our software, ModelOp Center, the leading AI governance solution serving the Fortune 500 for the past 4+ years. Specifically, we'll look at three key capabilities. First, the inventory, which provides visibility into all of the AI initiatives and the risks that are associated with those AI systems. Second, we'll look at controls, which helps to enforce the governance policy regardless of the team, the technology, or the use case. And third, we'll look at reporting, how ModelOp Center automates and streamlines the ongoing compliance against the governance policy. All three of these capabilities work together to provide the right level of governance that not only ensures compliance, but actually accelerates AI innovation and value. The first capability, the inventory, helps to address the challenges that many of our customers face before ModelOp Center, which is just providing visibility into all of the AI systems and initiatives across the enterprise. Most customers before ModelOp are challenged to understand which team is working on what technology, because there's a combination of open source, proprietary, cloud-based, vendor models, and there's not a consistent way to understand where AI is being used across the enterprise and the risks around those. Let's take a look at that in ModelOp Center. Here's the home screen of ModelOp. On the left-hand side, first you'll see the inventory. Second, the controls, we call model lifecycles. And then third, the reporting section. But right down the middle, immediately you're presented with, here are all the AI systems that are used across the enterprise. Here's the risk tier, whether they're a high, medium, or low risk. And here are where there are potential risks and issues as it relates to those AI systems. If we dive into the inventory itself, again, we're here representing all of the various AI use cases or systems, regardless of the technology used, as well as being able to look at the inventory from, say, a high-risk perspective, so we can dive into the particular AI systems that potentially produce or have more risk for the organization. And then for each one of those, we actually can go into the details around the given AI system or initiative. For example, this is actually an LLM-based system. It's a financial advisor AI system. And we were able to catalog, well, who are the model owners? Who's the business owners, IT owners? Who's the governance executive, the model risk officers? If we look at it, is this customer facing? Does it contain PHI or PII? All of these pieces of information help to inform the organization around what is the overall usage, limitations, but also the potential risk for this AI system. But furthermore, ModelOp Center specifically was designed to support LLMs and generative AI by enabling things such as ensembles, so that you can include a combination of internally developed LangChain type models. You can include vendor type models like GPT-4. As part of it, you are categorizing within ModelOp Center the assets, the source code, the prompt files, the guardrails templates, as well as being able to look at various other information like repository and schema. But all the while, we are collecting every piece of information about these AI systems, regardless of the technology used, the team, or the use case in which it's actually intended. So let's go back to our second capability here. This is when we're moving to controls. So first, we have visibility across the enterprise of all the various AI systems, regardless of the technology or the use case. But now we need to make sure we can enforce the governance policy. Most customers before ModelOp are challenged to be able to enforce that governance policy. It's done with spreadsheets, emails, lots of phone calls, and oftentimes that particular steps are missed, which exposes the organization to potential financial risks, reputational risks, as well as regulatory risks. ModelOp Center provides a very powerful process automation engine, which enforces every step in the governance policy, again, across all those different AI technologies, processes, and use cases. Let's take a look at that. So if I go into ModelOp Center, in that model lifecycle section, you can see here are a variety of different processes. These represent the various governance processes that enforce the policies. And you'll note that we have a couple of different processes here, which actually allow you to enforce different levels of workflows. For example, you may have a high-risk AI system where you need to have a additional number of steps to make sure that it's actually getting the proper approvals, whereas a low-risk model might have a much more expedient path. You're able to represent those different pathways or processes within ModelOp Center. Furthermore, we actually ship ModelOp Center with a variety of out-of-the-box governance processes that adhere to the various regulatory guidance that are out there at the US level, as well as the EU, APAC, and other regulatory authorities. For example, this is a particular workflow which is actually guided by some of the US regulatory guidelines, where we're actually making sure that for every single AI system it's registered within ModelOp Center, and then we do a risk tiering. And then we go on to being able to do some automated testing, independent review, etc. ModelOp Center is very powerful in that this is not just a pretty diagram, but a live automation. For example, as a model owner, I have a potential generative AI use case, an equity market research assistant. I want to, as per policy, register that within the governance system. And you'll notice that the ModelOp Center automation automatically picks up and says, hey, I've got a new AI system that's been registered per my governance policy, guided by regulatory. The first step is to make sure that we've collected all the metadata. This is a very simple example, but our customers are able to use this type of governance enforcement to make sure that every single team, whether it's across the marketing team, finance team, operations, supply chain, clinical, it doesn't matter. Every single one of those teams are following the governance process as dictated by the policy, and that this is auditable, trackable, and reproducible. If we go into the third area, reporting. As part of governance, one of the biggest challenges that our customers face before ModelOp is that they need to ensure that there's robust testing of their AI system, that there's the appropriate independent reviews, documentation, and then ongoing adherence to the various thresholds that have been set from a model risk perspective. ModelOp Center provides a very powerful reporting engine that allows for automated testing, documentation generation, and ongoing monitoring against those thresholds with the proactive risk mitigation as part of it. Let's take a look at that. So within ModelOp Center, if I would have progressed this workflow, it would have gone down to being able to run a series of comprehensive tests before that AI system is allowed into production. We ship with a variety of out-of-the-box tests that look at a variety of different metrics: performance, stability, robustness, ethical fairness, etc., across the various methodologies, whether it be a regression, an LLM, a vendor model. Irregardless of that, we are able to run a variety of different tests to ensure that any risks are actually identified and that there's a proactive mitigation plan should such a risk come to fruition in production. So as an example, with my research assistant AI bot, we actually ran ahead of time a whole series of tests for this LLM, where we're looking at a variety of different metrics, including ensuring that the right prompt files are in place. We ran sentiment analysis against the responses. We ensured that there were no PII, that leakage that occurred for the output of the LLM, as well as looking at a variety of different techniques to look at the performance, doing question, fact, and answer verification, cross-LLM validation against a select set of golden questions with accuracy scores, expert similarity, etc. All of this basically saying that we are able to automate these tests across all the different technologies and methodologies that may be used, and all of these are captured with the record of the model systematically in a comprehensive fashion. Furthermore, in addition to the testing, oftentimes you have to produce a variety of documentation. ModelOp Center is actually able to automate the generation of that documentation. That same information about our financial advisor here, we've populated all those same tests, the sentiment analysis, the PII leakage, the question and prompt and fact answering verification. All of that has automatically been populated in the document for ongoing generation of the appropriate documentation and reporting that is required. Finally, from a reporting perspective, all of this information is rolled up into a series of different dashboards so that executives can take a look across the entire portfolio of AI systems. Which AI systems are being used by what business units, which ones are high risk, where those AI development is across their life cycle, whether they're in validation or production. Most importantly, though, where do I have issues in production? Where do I have risk? Whether it be performance or ethical fairness or financial, I'm able to quickly gain an understanding across the entire enterprise where those risks arise and be able to dive into the details. So that was a quick overview of ModelOp Center. And what we looked at again was those three capabilities: the inventory, to ensure that we have visibility into all the AI systems, where they're used, their performance, and their value. Second, those automated controls to enforce the governance policy and ensure that we are proactively mitigating any risk as AI systems are moving through their life cycle. And third, that reporting capability, which ensures that the appropriate upfront testing, ongoing monitoring, and adherence to compliance across the entire portfolio. All of this allows for ModelOp Center to enable a transparent, robust, and compliant AI initiatives for the enterprise.